It's been an unreal experience, to be honest. This has been my goal ever since I was a little kid, was to go to the Olympics and to represent Jamaica. And to have that come true has been amazing. So I don't really have any formative memories of Jamaica. I mean, we left when I was 2.5, 3 years old, and we moved to Florida. But when we lived in Jamaica, my mom was actually a swim coach. She ran the Negril Wave Runners, and she actually founded the Negril Wave Runners. And she ran that team until we left. I think she probably ran it for about 10 years there. And she lived there for somewhere around 15 or so years. So she lived there for a very long time. And she was a swimmer growing up. And she was a coach after she finished her swimming career. And so I've always been in the water. She taught me how to swim, all that kind of stuff. And just I started swimming growing up and loved it and ended up being pretty good at it, just like she was. The goal was always to compete for Jamaica. I mean, my first meet was in 2014 because at that point I was 15. I didn't see, like, I could have gone to stuff when I was younger, but there wasn't really the value until you got to like 15, 16 to going to those regional A group meets and participating in those. It's like, there's value in it when you're younger if you live in the region, but I lived in Florida. There was all sorts of age group meets in Florida that I went to. But once I got older, it was okay, let's take the next steps, go to some international competitions and represent my country. I mean, it's always a bit of a grind, but I mean, I love this sport and I wouldn't trade any of those times for anything. I mean, all my friends were swimmers, so if I was hanging out with my friends, it was going to swim practice. And we would just hang out after swim practice and we needed to hang out more. So that's where most of my close friendships come from, is through swimming, not something that swimming gets in the way of. I thought I would be able to make it in 16, but that obviously didn't happen. I still was fairly young. I only turned 17 a little bit before. So, I mean, that was a bit of a letdown, but I also didn't really know how the whole process worked, how qualification worked, all that kind of stuff. But once I've gotten older, I've learned what I needed to do to qualify, the times I needed to go, and the things that I needed to be, that I've realized it's going to be hard and I'm going to have to put a lot of time, effort, and resources into qualifying, but I knew it was very, very doable and something I was capable of doing. They've been very supportive. I mean, I haven't gotten a ton of funds over the past year, but they've given me some support with going to meets, suits, stuff like that. Every bit helps in this sport. It's not a cheap sport compared to some other sports that there are, but they've helped out in significant ways. I think with the postponement of 1 year due to the pandemic, it had its benefits and it had its negative effects. For me, it gave me an extra year to get older, get stronger, and get healthy. I actually was dealing with a knee issue in 2020, and the extra year really helped me be confident that my legs were going to be in shape and what they needed to be, because I was able to fully recover without being in a high strain workload. Because I feel like if the games would have gone on in 2020, I still would have been able to be swimming at a very high level and been fast, but the extra year gave me the confidence to know I can do this. I can go these times, I can do what I need to do to qualify. I mean, I just wish that the sport had more participation and recognition in the country, because I mean, right now there are a number of young, talented swimmers in the age group sections that are swimming very fast times, and you don't see swimmers after they turn 19, after they turn 20. They just stop swimming. They don't keep swimming. And I've had the opportunity to swim in college, and I've had the opportunity to continue on through my career. And I think that people like me having the visibility would help encourage athletes to go to college in the US or the UK or Canada or wherever, and find a swimming program that they continue to swim in, and just to grow the sport. Because without that visibility, it's hard for young swimmers to continue to participate. I think it's that especially on the men's side, we haven't had an athlete who's had success at the international level in a major way. We've had people qualify, we've had people, that's basically it. They've basically qualified, and there hasn't really been any sort of medals or records or international recognition, which I honestly don't expect to get either. I have goals, but I don't think I'm winning a medal. I would love to, but I don't think I'm at that level yet. I think I could be capable of getting to that level, but it's just that getting that recognition, and it's more of getting those accomplishments internationally, is what I think it might take for swimming to be more recognized. Because we have track, and Jamaica is incredibly successful in track. And I think those expectations kind of carry over to their other sports, where the levels aren't quite what they are in track and field. There's a little bit of anxiousness, but it's more excitement. I'm excited to go and race the best in the world and give it all I have for the summer and just have fun racing. The goals are just be faster. I swam fast earlier this year. I just want to go faster than I was in April. Set 2 new national records in the 200 meter butterfly and the 200 meter IM, and I will be extremely happy with that. I've never really had impact either way. I think I could compete at a high level in both. I mean, when I set the time in the 200 IM that I qualified with, that was done in a time trial after the swimming session had ended, and there were maybe like 30 people on the pool deck. So, but I've also swam at Caristas, where there's a couple hundred screaming people in the stands, and it's a loud environment and a small pool. So I mean, it's going to be sad not to have the atmosphere with fans in the audience and just the atmosphere of the Olympics in that regard. But I mean, I don't think it should impact my performance. She's a great inspiration, and she's the example of what any young athlete should strive to be in Jamaica. She's an incredible person, and she's a great role model for all young swimmers. And she's really paved the path for people to follow. Oh, she was actually at work. So she didn't answer my phone call, but she called me like 30 minutes later, and it was just a super happy, nice moment. But I mean, she was excited. I mean, she expected it of me. I mean, she knew I would be able to qualify, and she believed in me the whole way through. So it was just relief that we'd finally accomplished the goal that I'd set out to do.